Folks, here we go! Welcome to the ESWC. If you've just tuned in, my name is Totalbiscuit, bringing you this matchup right here between Millennium's very own Lalush. He is in the red trunks and he is playing Zerg to the southwest of the Shakuras Plateau versus his opponent, Alternate Attacks Cloud. He is in the blue trunks and he is playing Terran to the southeast. This should be a good matchup between these two. Lalush consistently takes games from very good players. Cloud also consistently takes games from very good players. Admittedly, he did end up losing his first set to Hapner, who was able to play some rather unusual, very early High Templar play. It seemed to do the job, and High Templar is usually the kind of thing that you like to get later on in the game. Anything with an AoE power is, of course, more effective later on in the game thanks to larger groups of units, so it's more cost-effective to use. But we had these early storm drops, these early aggressive storms as well, pushes from Hapner that dealt with Cloud really nicely. Whatever the case, we'll see how he does in his matchup right here against Zerg. Looking for the quick wall-off, not going for his trademark 14 command center, which is unwise, I would have to say. Lalush has been known to cheese. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's a perfectly valid strategy, but Lalush has been known to cheese. But he's also good at really long macro games. I remember a game between him and Moon, actually. This is no insult to the players, but it was actually the most boring game I've ever cast, simply because it was 28 minutes of them doing nothing. They were both macroing really heavily, and then they just fought, and at about the 30-minute mark, Moon wins. It's like, what? What the hell just happened? Absolutely nothing. So yeah, they're both capable of playing big macro games. Lalush manages to get in there and scout his opponent. Not really going to gain any valuable information as opposed to Cloud. The question is, did Cloud actually manage to scout yet? In fact, no, Cloud hasn't scouted at all. Rather late scout from him. I suppose he can make certain assumptions as to what his opponent is going to do on this map. There will be a nice fast expansion, no doubt. There's the quick gas steal right there just to keep that drone alive for a little bit longer. Takes 3 Marines to do enough damage to actually kill a building extractor, the more you know. 2 Marines is not enough. 2 Marines can shoot at a extractor that's being repeatedly rebuilt almost infinitely, but it does depend on the micro of the Zerg player. Is he actually going to build that? Yes. No, there's the cancel. And into that once again, getting some reasonable scouting information. Smartly, Cloud, of course, builds his factory out of the way. The question is, what do we expect to see from Cloud? He's not built it close to his barracks. Not expecting to see any kind of swap around yet. A reactor should have started building earlier if he was going to go for early reactor Hellions. If he goes for reactor Hellions, it's going to be slightly delayed. He could, of course, just go for a tank expand here. Command center coming in. It's a bit of a pain to go for a tank expand with only 1 gas, needless to say, however. So, I don't know. It's still a possibility. You can still easily build 1 tank on 1 gas. Get that in place and a nice classic defense going. 2 Marines trying to batter their way through that extractor, which will, of course, not work. There's the cancel once again. This is how annoying this is. I say you need 3 Marines. 2 is not enough. In the meantime, we see Cloud trying to scout around and getting nailed down easily by that Zergling. It is actually going to be Blue Flame Hellion. Okay. Huh. Well, there you go. Quite a late Blue Flame Hellion. Unusual, really, considering that Blue Flame Hellion is not all that effective unless you get the plus... Is it plus 1 or the plus 2, I think you need to kill drones? I can't remember which. Whatever the case, I'm intrigued. A single Blue Flame Hellion. What is that for? I'm scratching my head trying to figure that out. Oh, Lalush just finally decided he wants to build that extractor. He's been denying that gas for so long right now. Another Blue Flame Hellion on its way up. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it on the basis of how much gas that costs, considering that he's only been mining 1 gas this entire time. And a tank expand would have kind of made sense. I know that it's a bit difficult to get a tank out and a siege deployment upgrade, but still, I'm not keen on it. Whatever the case, that's what he's going for. Could be Blue Flame Hellion drop, but with 2 more barracks to follow that up, I think it's just going to be a Marine, Marauder, and Medevac push to follow that one. No, he's allowing the Infernal Preigniter to finish. Cool off Infernal Preigniter Hellions moving in right now. I say this is a little bit old school from Cloud. I don't know how effective this is really going to be. Spinecrawler at the front there. A Queen and quite a narrow choke point to engage within. Overlord trying to scout. The Overlord will be denied and destroyed there by Cloud. Another Hellion coming in. This is quite the slow attack. Not exactly what I call a Blue Flame Hellion rush. It's more of a Blue Flame Hellion canter. The question is, how effective is this really going to be? We've got that medevac coming in, which, as I say, would indicate a Blue Flame Hellion drop, potentially. He is building quite a few Marines as well. Roach is on the way to deny this, so I don't know. I think this maybe has been delayed so much, and the fact that Lalush also spots those Hellions on the edge of his creep. He should be well defended against this. Spire is the response right here from Lalush. Now, does he know that they have the Blue Flame Hellion upgrade? That's a good question. They haven't fired yet, so it's not readily obvious. Lalush playing extremely defensively, which is to be expected considering his situation at the moment. Trying to get the meters out so we can start to gain map control. Oh, now that's a sneaky move. Cloud able to drop a full contingent of Marines in there. Snipes off an Overlord. Nice and easy, and then gets out. Using the Blue Flame Hellions to draw his opponent out of position at the front and then dropping in for a quick little bit of harassment. I like that. Like that a lot. We could, of course, still see Blue Flame Hellion drops from Cloud. He has the capability to do so. And Cloud scouting out, making sure there's no hidden third anywhere. There is not. Cloud continuing to deny Lalush the ability to expand. So it turns out this is turning out quite well for him. Blue Flame Hellion's really being used more as a deterrent than a harassment technique. It's cool. I like it. It's good. Good mix. Cloud with these unupgraded Marines, he probably has enough with that medevac, honestly, to deal with that. Once again, now looking for another drop. Is that going to be another Overlord sniped off there? That would be a kind of a pain in the ass, wouldn't it? That's enough Marines dropped down to deal with that Roach. I think that's going to be another Overlord sniped off. Cloud's Overlord harassment squad is doing really well here. Some Terran build a Viking. Cloud uses unupgraded Marines. That's just how he rolls. His Blue Flame Hellions have done nothing thus far. Really, they've just sat there as a scary deterrent. Cloud's got a good expansion opportunity right now. He's got great map control. He's able to deny his opponents expanding at all. The problem is that Lush now has a fairly large force of Mutalisks that should be able to clean this up without too much of a problem. No stim available, so that's that dealt with. The Hellions are going to try and sneak into the base. Oh, nicely denied by Lalush. Extremely fast response there. Those who got into the mineral line, damage could have been done, but no, Lalush shuts that down, and now Lalush is free to take his third. It wouldn't actually surprise me to see Lalush also take a fourth right now. He does have a drone in position to make that happen. A nice quick expand there since he's been denied for so long. And now he has map control thanks to the mutas. However, Cloud does have a large number of Marines on the field. Cloud's going to be doing a little bit of running back and forth here in order to deal with these mutas. Does he have stim? He does now. Also looking at Terran infantry weapon level 1, so the mutas are going to be able to gain map control, but not really much else. Cloud is well defended against this. Mutas may be able to harass and deny the third, something that Lalush will perhaps be looking to do. Burrow coming in from Lalush as well. That's interesting. I have to wonder what he's planning on doing with that. Will we see tunneling claws? Are we looking for burrowed banelings? That would be nice. I haven't seen enough of those. I might add, I don't want to see them on ladder, so don't get any ideas. But in professional play, you don't see a huge amount of burrowed banelings. I think Zerg players are very paranoid after watching the dot gif of that not-so-wonderful attack by Moon, if you remember correctly. Oh my, yes. That was embarrassing. Now trying to harass that orbital command. Marines now stimming in to try and deal with those mutas. +1 damage upgrade coming up for them as well. In the meantime, a big push by Cloud, looking to try and take the third out as well. Are there enough units? Yeah, there's certainly enough to kill it. Cloud might lose his entire army in the process. The thing is, Cloud now actually forced to focus on the mutas, which were able to do good damage. In come the banelings. Where's the spread from Cloud? It's good enough, but not good enough to kill the third. Really nicely denied there by Lalush. Delays that damage. I actually question what Cloud did there. If Cloud had continued to fire at the hatchery, he would have killed it, but instead, he focused fire on the mutas instead. Not able to do a lot of damage to those mutas, and he keeps his third alive. Lalush must be very happy with that engagement. I did like the Marine spread there by Cloud. It didn't take too much damage. The first Baneling hit did a lot of damage, but the rest of it quite nicely spread out. And now Lalush looking to deny Cloud's third. Can't really do that. Too many Marines, too many missile turrets. Cloud forced to play very defensively, and Lalush can very greedily grab a fourth without too much of a problem here. A few Banelings are hanging around here too. I want to see some Burrowed Baneling play. I really, really do. Burrowed Banelings are extremely entertaining. Let's have a look at army supply, shall we? Lalush in the lead in that regard. Work supply, Lalush is slightly behind, simply due to the amount of mules available. There we go. Sneaky little burrowed banelings. They look delicious, don't they? They look delicious. Like, nice and juicy. But no. I'm afraid not. I would like to see a really awesome detonation around that Telmarga Watchtower. We'll see if that happens. Lalush is in a reasonable position now, I feel, to take a 5th, potentially. He does have good map control. He's got good awareness. Cloud is attempting to mass a critical mass of units in order to push forward. This is what I'd like to see from Lalush. Burrowed banelings across the map, take a 5th, try and tempt your opponent into going after your 5th, and then blow him the hell up. Wonderful. That would be very, very nice indeed. We'll see if Lalush is able to pull that one off. Interestingly enough, I don't think he's got this burrowed banelings hotkey. No, he doesn't. Interesting. That's what I'd expect to see. And Cloud's going to push. Is he going to push over the burrowed banelings? Oh, nice scan there by Cloud. Very smart. Very smart. A lesser player would not have seen that. That could have been devastating, but as it turns out, no. Cloud now pushing forward with a huge Marine force. 58 Marines on the field. Upgrades aplenty. Cloud's preferred style in play right here. Upgrade heavy, Marine Marauder. In this case, he's going Marine Tank, a slight alteration, but the +2/+2 on its way up. In comes this large unit of Mutalisks, but really, any Mutalisk engagement here would be very, very dangerous for Lalush. He knows it. He's not willing to go in. He's just trying to delay this push right here from Cloud. Taking a 5th is no longer an option. Cloud has map control here over the south end of the Shikuras Plateau. Now, why, oh why, is Cloud hanging around? Well, he's a little bit wary, and I can hardly blame him. Lalush building a large number of banelings. Of course, the problem with a Marine-heavy strategy is the deployment of banelings. Do they have the speed upgrade? They don't. Has Lalush forgotten that? That could be crucial here. You really need the speed upgrade to engage against Marine Tank, especially with a Xel'Naga Watchtower in play for Cloud. I am not liking that at all for Lalush. In the meantime, Lalush taking a 5th up to the top. Smart play considering the position of his opponent. Cloud potentially looking to take a 4th or indeed maybe even a 5th up to the top, but that's not happening now. We've got the Adrenal Glands upgrade for the Zerglings. Only now researching Zerg melee attack. That's going to put a little bit of a dent in the amount of damage that those banelings can actually do. There's the fungal growth for the surround. Cleans up that Marine force. Leaves a single one alive, which allows another tank shelling to come down. And some fairly significant damage done as a result of that. An unfortunate mistake there by Lalush, who is now looking to clean up. And that should be a free tank, and out he goes. His Mutalisk count is looking good, but honestly, they haven't done a huge amount this game. Not a lot of economic harassment done. Looking for a transition into Broodlords right here. Very sensible play. Is that a second Spire? It is. Always good for the upgrades right there. Cloud with his Super Thor stomping around the place. Really, those mutas just aren't viable at this point, I feel. They can deny this 4th, certainly, but they're not really doing anything else. That's going to be a bit of a problem. Thing is, I don't think Lalush is going to build any more of them. He's simply going to dedicate himself to Broodlords. In comes this big aggressive push. Trying to break this defensive line. A lot of Zerglings and Banelings snapped up there easily by Cloud. This 5th is under pressure. That really is going to go down, I feel, unless Lalush can break out some fairly serious pain. At this point, he's trying to deny his opponent from pushing into his natural, I think, for as long as possible so that he can get his Broodlords up. There we go. Corruptor count is looking pretty solid for that. I'd expect an immediate transition into Broodlords as soon as this Great Aspire completes. Oh, nice Baneling hit right there by Lalush. Unfortunately, Lalush losing his 3rd in the process, and his 5th is going to go down too. Not so good. If we have a look at functional mining bases, this one is getting mined out. This one is pretty much mined out. So really, he's on about 2 mining bases. Oh my. And Cloud getting really aggressive right here, but that's a massive Baneling detonation there by Lalush. Cloud getting a little bit sloppy with his engagements here, losing a lot of units, and the Broodlord count is about to get crazy. Lalush just going for it against this Thor, losing a lot of units in the process, but forcing the Thor back. He might even be able to pick off a siege tank in the process as well. That would be very, very nice. Cloud stimming in to do damage. The Thor support rips that up, but here come the Broodlords, and Cloud has no answer to that. There are two things Cloud can really do against Broodlords. A lot of Vikings or a lot of Ghosts. Right now, he doesn't have a lot of either. He's building a lot of Ghosts in order to get those snipes going in. Lalush still with no Baneling speed. It's a very curious situation here. Start to use the Broodlords to break through this tank line, start to force his opponent back across the map. I'd love to know where that Baneling speed is. Is he another Zerg player that simply forgets Baneling speed? I guess he is. In comes Lalush's attack. 6 Broodlords on the field. A lot of Zerglings in play as well. Not a huge number of upgrades for these Broodlords. +1/+1, and then the +1 melee upgrade certainly could have been a lot better from Lalush, but he's able to take the center of the map, and map control is his. In come the Vikings, however. The problem is Lalush doesn't actually have a lot of Corruptors. So a couple of these Broodlords are going to end up getting picked off. He's going to have to use the Mutas in order to deal with them until he gets a larger Corruptor count. Snipe action going down. Goes a Broodlord, and that's not really a sentence. Cloud sniping off of those Broodlords. Broodlord count now reduced to 4. Significant damage being done. Tanks are being taken out. Another Broodlord sniped off. Another Broodlord going to be sniped off momentarily. Tank ends up shelling the Ghosts. Unfortunate there for Cloud, losing a few Ghosts. A Fungal Goat to follow that one up as the Marines try and move in on the last surviving Broodlord. So far, these Broodlords haven't done a huge amount. And in the meantime, Cloud's been able to drop and take this out. Nice and easy. Good play there by Cloud. Very impressive. But Lush is going for it right now. Even without the Baneling speed, he does have a good number of them crashing through the defensive line. Does he have a follow-up, though? That's the question. He really doesn't have a follow-up to that at all, aside from picking off some of these production buildings. He can't break his way in to the natural just yet, which is what he really wants to do. Lalush, unfortunately, is really out of mining bases now, so this is kind of all or nothing. Cloud's got a good economy running. He's got a base there, well defended. He's got a base there, which is taking significant damage from those infestors. In a base trade scenario, this is going to be messy for both, and there's a big EMP. All the energy now gone on those infestors. So really, Lalush doesn't actually have anything to hit him with. It's all been reliant on infestors and a couple of Broodlords. Orbital Command survives just, but I have a feeling it's going to end up burning to the ground. In the meantime, Lalush stuck on this one base here that is barely mining. Very concerning, and these infestors unable to really defend themselves. Lalush's economy is in tatters. Cloud playing really well here. Cloud is going to be able to easily take this 5th right here. Lalush, on the other hand, is having real issues in that regard. Cloud has been leaving things lying around just to make sure that all of this nonsense is denied. And Lalush, GG's. There you go, folks. First game.